Tuesday. It is a beautiful night to just drop in and see what's going on in the ethers. I'm excited to spend time checking in with our bodies, minds, and spirits and see what wants to come through. Oh my gosh, is that Dale? Boozy? If it is, Dale, I hope you're doing well. Down under, mate. Sending you lots of love. Getting ready to do a weekly tarot reading. And not really have any astral insights. I don't really, I haven't checked in, so I would love to know if anyone has insights on that. But today we'll just drop in with our minds and bodies and see what wants to come through in the cards. Hi Kiki, I'm so glad you're here. I just spent the last 20 minutes like pairing through the entire deck, putting it in order, going through each of the suits and all the major arcana, just kind of like clearing everything. So I'm really curious to see who comes out and plays with us today, because we've been having a lot of stalker cards and a lot of kind of consistent energy, and sometimes it's interesting to just kind of start with like a fresh playing field and see what wants to come through. So I'm gonna turn down this music a little, but if you didn't, or if you don't follow me on SoundCloud, I just made a Valentine's Day mix that I put out there today with music like this for all the lovers out there, and be more than happy if you check that out. My SoundCloud name is Eliza Jean Grey. It's like an hour of just like cute love music and a little fun sentiment for my sweetie pie and all the lovers out there, so feel free to check it out. Alright, so let's go ahead and just drop in. It's been kind of an interesting day. I just woke up from a nap, so I'm like slightly groggy, and you guys will have to bear with me for a minute, but I've been getting up earlier in the morning, and I'm proud of myself just for like having some kind of rhythm in the winter when this can be kind of a challenge for me in the past. So it'll be good to just kind of wake back up with you guys and see what's present here. So we'll go ahead and just, if you feel inspired, you can just close your eyes and just take a minute to drop into your body. If you're like me, you've been kind of running around all day, doing all sorts of different things, and maybe just taking a moment to drop in with yourself hasn't been on your checklist. So this is an opportunity to do that. If you feel comfortable, you can place a hand over your heart or maybe your belly. We'll just breathe together for a minute. Maybe you can feel your heart beating inside your chest. Just noticing the energy of your own body. And what I love to do after a long day is to imagine that I'm pulling my energy back into my own field. So like today I was at the post office and Wegmans and Staples and all over the place. So I'm just imagining that I'm drawing my energy back into my body from all those places, and maybe even dream states or conversations that I had with other people, bringing my full self back here in this moment just by breathing and kind of visualizing that my energy is coming back to center. And just allow yourself to revel in the perfection that is your beautiful breathing body in this moment. And allowing yourself to soften, maybe imagining that you're digging roots deep down into the earth from the base of your spine, allowing yourself to anchor and just arrive in this physical plane here in this moment with nothing to do except just to be and breathe and listen and receive, and just allow this next hour, when the tune-up is really just intended to be a little energetic wave from the ethers, flooding, through me and into our circle, just bringing you some tenderness and love. It's like a little nurturing from spirit. And when you feel like you've got a nice dose of a good hug from spirit, you can blink your eyes open, and we'll meet here in our circle, and I'll call on angels, guides, ascended masters, plant devas, and animal spirits to be with each of us in this circle together, to bring forth the messages and insights and stories that will be received for each of our highest good and the highest good of all. Thanks for being here, ladies. So good to have you all here. Yeah. So I was just trying to reflect on last week's outcomes. We had such a strong reading about really listening to our community, our call to community last week. And I think a big part of it was kind of recognizing that we're still a little bit in the hanged man energy, where we're still in the cocoon of winter, and we're still, we're not about to leap into action yet in terms of big changes. But it felt like there was this call to community, and I love that a few of you who are here with me, I had an opportunity to paint with some girlfriends this weekend, which was such a pleasure. Actually, we were gathering to paint, and we were going to do this online art class, and then as time and space had its effects, there was no power cord for the laptop that we were going to watch the art class on, and then we had been joking earlier in the day that I could just lead an intuitive art class, so I ended up doing that, and it was so perfect. We all had supplies and colors and everything, and it was kind of like the dance facilitation circles that I get to do, but instead of dancing with our physical bodies, we were dancing on the canvases. And it was so cool to see, Maggie, to see these individuals shift. Some of them were a little bit intimidated to even put, the paint on the canvas, afraid of it maybe being wrong, or once you start, then you can't go back. And it was just so cool to see everyone really dive in and just embrace the process. And I just want to keep encouraging people to do that, because these outlets have been keeping me going, not only through the winter this year, but they're the things that make life meaningful for me, like intuitive dance, intuitive painting, and just allowing ourselves to really flow with spirit. To me, that brings such great purpose to life, and how beautiful to be able to do it with community and share it. So that was a real treat and highlight for me this week. I'd love to hear what is present with you all today and what you're feeling just as we go into the reading. So if you want to share a little message in the comments just about what's present with you, it always helps me to guide the reading. And I think we should just jump right in. So I'm gonna shuffle once more here. Reading for the collective, for each of our highest good and the highest good of all. All right. So it's Valentine's Day week, and we picked the Lover's card, which is not actually as much about romantic love as many people think that it is, but it's about seeing the one in the other and seeing ourselves with compassion in the faces of another, and really about community in general as well. So it's an interesting card to anchor with. Oh, I'm loving all these messages. All right, so we have Kay just finished up an online class. Emily's feeling optimistic and renewed. Maggie was feeling a little lonely and offbeat today. Like, I've woken up after a long hibernation. How interesting. Cool. Kate, things are leaving that need to leave. Having some anxiety. Okay, excited to make better choices for my body. Awesome. Overtired and grumpy. All of these are beautiful, and all of these I'm just kind of taking it in and just feeling it all. Em says, the card you pulled makes so much sense for my connection with my friend, which was hindered, with my best friend, which was hindered by the pandemic. Oh, I hope you got to spend time with him or her. That's awesome. So yeah, so our anchor card, just like taking all this in, and it's perfect. It's perfect that we're all having all the feelings. Some people feel like they're finally awakening. Some people maybe kind of just in the grind of the beginning of the week, and some tiredness and some grumpiness and a little bit of anxiety, and all of it is welcome. And I see you as myself, in this card. The Lover's card is really about, like I was saying, witnessing not only others with compassion, but really putting yourself in their place and seeing that you are one. If you would have been born with those same circumstances and the same situation, you would have ended up exactly like that person. We're all collectively of spirit, and yet experiencing these many diverse lives. And I think what the world needs now is love. And it's challenging sometimes, because it's so easy for us to trigger each other and to kind of drain each other, because we are different and we have different ways of working in the world, different ways that we found work for us. But I think that's a beautiful anchor card for us this week. It just seems so appropriate. And I don't know if I showed you guys the card, but it looks like two people, sitting across from each other, and spirit really coming through to connect them in that sense of oneness here. So that's beautiful. And this is being crossed by Temperance. Oh my God. Temperance. And again, this is like spirit washing over us and alchemizing something new out of sorry, we have these like little fruit flies at our house, these tiny little bugs. Alchemizing something new out of we see these like two cups in the Temperance card, and typically it's like water. In this one you can't tell that it's water, but the water is going both up and down, and it's flowing in both directions, and usually there's like an angel in the background, and there's a sense that like we have this earthly physical water in our hands, and it's almost like Jesus turning the water into wine, like something beyond what we can do as humans is happening, this like alchemical change process. It's almost like if we have A and B, instead of just bringing them together and having A, B, we now have C. And there's something special. I just feel that community connection really rippling through again here. And it feels like spirit is guiding us to create something new. And, we talk about creating a new earth, creating a new world. What if we're already in the new earth and in the new world. And all that needs to change is how we feel about it. As we let go of the traumas and as we let go of the old stories and the old ways, we begin to like really settle into the perfection that might already be here. What if everything is flowing exactly as it is, and there's all these like harmonics, these different frequencies, and the more we begin to relax, the more we can just access these higher states of experience. Kay says, my boyfriend just took his teeth out and it's stressing me because I'm trying to focus on schoolwork and he's just grumpy. Now it seems like I don't care and I'm the bad guy, but I'm trying to focus on my school or future. Ouch. He took his teeth out like he fell? That sounds horrible. But that's totally that card, okay? It's like, can you set your boundary? Like, while we're having compassion for him and putting yourself in that place, you don't have to take on his stuff, but can you also witness and support him with the love that he might need? And I think so much of it comes down to communication, and that's really one of the biggest pieces that allow us to alchemize and shift these things when we're in struggles with a partner or struggles with a family member or a friend. Can we find the words to adequately not only describe what's going on, but then also just stand in our truth of what we need with compassion? You know, it's a complicated thing, but yeah. Says, you hit the nail on the head. This resonates with me so much. That's awesome. Teeth removal. You took mine out 1 month before and it didn't stress him like this. Why are you guys taking your teeth out? That sounds horrible. Those are like I have those nightmares with like the teeth. All the time still I have the nightmares with the teeth coming out. I'm so sorry, because that is such a primal thing. It's a bone. It's like a piece of your skeleton, you know? I feel you. Like, that sounds intense. And it's funny, men, I mean, I don't want to say this, like, I don't want to, but I just feel like they have a different pain tolerance than women. So, like, wisdom teeth. Okay. That makes so much more sense. I'm like, why are you guys taking your teeth out? Oh my gosh. But they have a different pain tolerance, and but it doesn't mean that they're not actually feeling that much more pain. And sometimes it's just a matter of like, can we just go there into what story they're living out, because their pain is real to them, without babying them, but like really just supporting them with communication. Like, what is it that you need? How can I support you? And also honor what you need and support you. So can you converse about that and have that conversation? All right, so crowning the situation, we have King of Coins. And this is leadership with embodiment. The coins are really like being in the physical, being present with the abundance. And I'm feeling like this is kind of relating to that story I was sharing earlier about spending some time showing others like how to just paint and just like allow and just be. The more that I find the things that I'm passionate about, the dance and the art and the music, they're all these kind of flow states that we access through our physical bodies that allow spirit and play and like a different dimensional sort of reality to come through. There's something really happening there. And I think we are being shown by this King of Coins. Like, I'm not the King of Coins. Sometimes I get to like allow the King of Coins to flow through me. But I think that we are all being asked to allow the King of Coins to flow through us and allow ourselves to show up, to play in the way that feels good to us and show others this new reality and this new playing field almost through our experience, through what we're doing. It's almost like the more that we can enjoy life and see it as a pleasurable, fun game, and we're like excited to be here, and sort of like allowing its magic to unfold, it's almost like just by embracing that, we're playing the game, so to speak, and then we're teaching others how to play just by showing them how good it feels, if that makes sense. And I think that is sort of the way that they always say, like, for children and stuff, you teach them so much more by what you do than what you say. And I think that we're being called upon to be leaders just through like finding that sense of calm within ourselves, and not even just calm, but like finding the sense of play with what is. So if it is anxiety, if it is grumpiness, if it is stress about one's partner or anything like that, it's like, okay, so what might the universe be showing me through what's coming up right now? How can I tend to myself to take care of this? And then how can it's like, there was this great book by Matt Kahn called Whatever Arises, Love That. It was so much, oh, okay, bye, Em. I hope you have a great night. It's called Whatever Arises, Love That. And so it's this idea that whatever shows up in our field, if it's, a crying baby, or a tree that looks like it needs watering, or a grocery list, or whatever it is, as we begin to see that as just, this is present right now, how can this is the input that's coming to me through the universe, how can I make this like how can I Mary Poppins this and turn the job into a game and like enjoy and embody the process and spread love through this, just the daily interactions of being human, and I think it makes not only you happy, but everyone else around you happy. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I was running so many errands today, and I saw, at the post office, there was a long line, and there was kind of an elderly woman in front of me, and she just seemed so pissed off that the line was long, and there was a woman asking about changing her address up front. I think she was like Latina, and she was asking questions about helping her cousin change her address or something, and this woman is just all huffy. She's all just like, oh my God, how can I, and I'm trying to have compassion for her process, but simultaneously I'm like, this woman probably doesn't even speak English as her first language. The two guys at the post office are working their butts off to make sure everything gets done, and this woman looks like she's wealthy, and she's probably, I don't think she has a job, she's probably old enough that she's retired. I don't know what her story is, but she was so huffy and cranky, and I just laughed a little bit because I could just remember times when I've been that person, when I've been rushing and in this sort of distress of needing to get all these things done, and what is the outcome of it? If we're constantly rushing to then rush to the next thing, it's a never-ending depleting game in some ways. And I just feel like I just sent her love, and I smiled, and I just sent out my little loving vibes, and I could feel the whole post office shift when I got to the front, and I was, at the window working with the guy, and I was just being silly. I was getting stamps and just playful, and I could just feel the whole mood in the post office shift because I was just playing. And I think we have so much more power than we realize, and that's a very long-winded way of telling you guys that you have so much more power than you realize. And it's fun to play with that. And there's no judgment too, because sometimes we are cranky and sometimes we are these different things, and it's okay. It's okay to be all those things. How can you then just honor, like, what do I need? Like, what is this feeling telling me? How can I take a breath? Do I need a cup of coffee? Do I need, some tenderness? Do I need a moment to breathe? What is it that is really calling forth from me? And be your own leader. Tend to yourself in that way. Even if it's for no one else, but it's for you, it is for everyone else, because you taking care of you literally ripples to everyone else around you in a very palpable way. So, all right, King of Coins. And underneath our situation is the Sun card. And this is this playful illumination, joyful, childlike energy. I think, who was it? Oh, I think it was Em was saying she was feeling like she was coming out of a hibernation and sort of just starting to see the light again after like a long winter. And I just feel like we're being called into this type of, it's almost like in the movie Hook. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. It's great. It's Robin Williams. It's on Netflix right now, I believe, too. And he finds out he's Peter Pan, and then he like goes back into Neverland, and then he realizes like he's forgotten what it was like to be a child and to play, and the only way that the magic can come alive again is when he starts to just pretend that the magic is there. Chelsea, yes. And then he starts to like have a food fight, and then all of a sudden it's real, and he's like playing in this other dimension, and it exists because he believed it and he started to play in it. So I'm getting that kind of vibe for this week. And it has to do with community, with the Lover's card. It has to do with beginning to play, I think, I was going to say, first you have to start playing with yourself and then you play with others. It sounds kind of silly, but you do. You play the game internally, but then like play the game and just see how much fun you can have in your day. Like, it sounds crazy, but it's like, why else are we here if not to enjoy life? Okay, so recent past, Page of Cups. And this is totally, again, like, pages have like a very youthful, childlike energy as well. And cups are the element that would hold our emotions and the water. So this Page of Cups vibe is kind of like we've begun to tend to our inner child emotionally. And we've begun to kind of remember the things that our inner child loved and really found emotionally fulfilling. And with the girls I was spending time with over the weekend, when we were kids, didn't we all used to color and like paint and not think about what it had to look like? Didn't we all sing? I mean, those of us who were privileged enough to have these things, obviously, I'm coming from a white privileged woman's perspective, but I pray that all children had that opportunity, and I think that even if you didn't, it's something to begin to explore at this point now, to begin to color and to begin to play, because these are like our birthrights. These are the things that make, I don't know, just even if it's like an adult coloring book, I just feel like a really youthful, playful energy and some sort of alchemical magic that's going to happen as we begin to like play in this way. So we're shifting into 9 of Coins, and whenever I see this card in particular, it feels like she's like stepping through these dimensions, and she's really coming into kind of like a new grounded reality where she's like popped out of the rabbit hole and she's walking through in this other dimension on the other side. And it's sort of a sense of like walking our truth embodied in this new reality that we want to play in. How long can we keep that frequency going? Can we make that a game? How long can we travel with some of these joyful, childlike concepts and ideas and really embody them and make them just part of our daily reality? And I love that she's holding a bird here too, because that always feels to me like a sense of like freedom and flight and a lightness in the air and a sense of like soaring versus maybe, as we were babies, like we had this sense of maybe crawling and sort of feeling like we needed to then, like our bodies need to be heavy. But what if our bodies can be light? Like, can we imagine that our bodies are lighter? I was having this experience the other day when I was dancing. I try to do just some dancing in the morning, put some music on, and I was feeling a little bit self-conscious about my body because I've just put on like a little belly through the winter, and instead of I noticed myself kind of focusing there, and then I thought, well, what would it be like to be in the body, like the ideal body that I want, and be dancing? And I could feel that ideal body like inside of my physical body, and I just started to dance as her, and she was so strong and such like a graceful, beautiful dancer. And as I was dancing for a little while, I realized I am that person already. I have that inside of me, and the other layers are just layers. Like they're perfect, and I allowed them to then come in and be there too. But the act of like filling out that strong, graceful part that I was craving and recognizing that she was actually in there felt really fulfilling. So again, it brings me back to Hook and sort of this playful energy that as we imagine and we play in those realms, we actually become the things in some sort of quantum sense of the word. So, all right, so we are seeing ourselves as Queen of Wands, which definitely rings true for me. The Queen of Wands is definitely like this feminine artist, and it doesn't have to be a woman, but sort of a I love that there's a cat in here. There's like it's like a feline sort of playful majesty, and the wands are all about the energetics and the fire, and so it's totally what we've just been talking about, this feeling of like embodying our essence and then sending those sparks and that fire. It's instead of like ripples in a pond, it's like sending out like fire ripples, like energy ripples to the other people around us. But the queen versus like a king would be more outward leadership. A queen is embodying it for herself first, and so it's we're seeing ourselves really having that part first, which is kind of how it has to happen. You have to do it for you, and as you do that, naturally you become the leader for others. I love that, Queen of Wands. Yeah. Keep the emojis coming. Yes. Y'all feeling me? All right. We are seeing ourselves as this, and then others are seeing us as the Hierophant. I always think of this because doesn't it look like he's opening like Pandora's box? Typically this is kind of a religious leader, but it's someone in our society who is unpacking spiritual beliefs and ways of looking at the world and ways of working with spirit and bringing them to the people. So others are seeing us in this light, and this is kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm just sharing with you guys my visions of how I'm seeing reality lately. I'm telling it to you in like a playful, story-like way, and hopefully I'm shedding just a different vision of how life can be played out and how we can find more pleasure and peace and playfulness, because these are things that are important to me. But others are seeing you as doing this as well. So maybe you are shedding a light in a new way that others haven't seen before. And of course you are. And it's needed and it's appreciated. And it's important that you share not just your voice, but maybe your art or your perspective, your presence, because others are listening and it is valued. So it's kind of like a note to yourself to remind yourself that, kind of like that King of Coins card, it's like you are a leader naturally, and others are paying probably more attention than you realize. And it's kind of it's a nice mindset to have, to just really recognize that you are affecting others naturally. Yes, more emojis, love it. Well, is that mirrors? That's cool. I was thinking about that line from Snow White the other day where it was like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? I was thinking about the word fairest. I don't know, this is like a total segue, you guys, but I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if it was actually about, like, I mean, obviously fair, like fair-skinned or whatever, but I think there's something about, like, what if the mirror was actually telling us about, like, who was just the most gentle and loving and, like, just fair, like... I think these are the new qualities we should look for and embrace in ourselves and others. All right, Hopes and Fears card is the Devil, which is total kind of trippy mirror energy that we have going on here. So those emojis seem appropriate. And the Devil can be a great ally because it shows us where we are chained to things that are really no longer serving us, and we're giving away our power. And sometimes it's hard to look at, but ultimately it's very healing. And the work that comes with this card is beginning to first witness where the chains are, where they might be holding us back. So in this reality that we're living, 2021, time is just different than it was when we were little. We have different perspectives and awarenesses, and we're sort of shifting as a paradigm into a more quickly manifesting reality in many ways, in a very basic way, just because there's more technology. We see things faster. Things are just happening more quickly. And I find that this can be used to our betterment or to our detriment. So it's sometimes taking a step back that really allows us to just begin to notice what is going on. If it is anxiety or it is stress or any of these things, can we see that with love and compassion and recognize what needs to be tended to, rather than beating ourselves up or getting angry at it or making it like a bad thing. The Devil card is really showing us that if we're trapped in a reality that is feeling like hell in some way, there's other realities. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Hell, I think, exists in terms of places that we trap ourselves, because we're the only one really playing this game of life, right? So if we can begin to unwind one baby step at a time, and just notice, like, what is the root of some of this intense emotion or trauma or anxiety. And the way to work through some of this, sometimes you do need support and you need to work with others. Sometimes it's more just a recognizing in yourself and really holding yourself accountable to make some little changes in your life. And I think the hope of this card is that in witnessing these chains, we can easily slip right out of them. And it's no problem. And it's no problem that they're there. Can we have gratitude for them, for teaching us? And there's something so magical. Like, if you've been carrying around like a really heavy backpack of energetic stuff with you for a long time, when you put it down, you realize, wow, it actually made you really strong. Because think about the strengthening that happened while you were carrying that stuff. Like, there's some sort of inner strengthening. So it had a purpose and it has a place. And can we be grateful for that? And also, when we're ready to put it down with grace and gratitude. It's no problem. Yeah. So our potential outcome is the Four of Wands. This is like celebration. This is like this particular deck makes me always think of Captain Planet. Doesn't it look like there's like a bunch of people kind of like earth, water, wind, fire, and they got their like rings, and they're like, with our powers combined we go on Captain Planet. And they realize how powerful they are and how much they can create change by using their own superpowers. And so I see this as a real celebration of your own unique superpowers and of community working together, which is very similar to the message we got last week. So, and your powers and your special, unique gifts are going to be different than others. And we're built that way on purpose because we complete the picture for each other. We complete the needs that others fill. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle. Kate, I love it. Yes. Yes! So overall, there's this sense of, here, I'll flip the deck around actually, or you know what I'm talking about, the camera around here. There's definitely a sense of big compassion for each other and for ourselves. That's like the number one thing this week. And that is being crossed by really allowing Spirit to help us to shift into this new dimension, into this new reality through embodiment and play and like honoring our inner child and sort of this joyful, the things that really brought us pleasure when we were little. Seeing ourselves as creative magic makers, noticing our impact on others, freeing ourselves from bondage, and ultimately, celebration and play. I just see the playful energy, the community energy, and that all stems from compassion and presence and just being here now and witnessing what is with childlike, fresh perspective and fresh eyes. What a sweet reading. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Spirit, and thank you for this message. And I'm excited to play with community more and keep tapping into this energy. Loving it. So, wow, I babbled for a while, huh? So it's, we have like 10 minutes. If anyone would like an individual card, I'd be more than happy to pull one for you. And thank you for listening to me babble for 45 minutes there. Michelle just popped on. That's so funny. I just moved into the individual pull section. That's so funny. Because she was like, oh, I'll hop on later, maybe get an individual pull. Here she is. That's awesome. Alright, so Kate first. So I'm pulling a card for Kate for her highest good and the highest good of all. Interesting. I got the Page of Swords, but it came up reversed, which is strange because I went through the entire deck and put everything in upright order, so I don't think that's a mistake. But the Page of Swords is very much a youthful, very smart kind of channeling energy. It's almost like a youth who's too smart for his own good, like someone who really knows intuitively how to use magic but could potentially use it for trouble. I'm thinking of like Harry Potter, because I've been watching Harry Potter again lately, and almost Tom Riddle, like, but there's a reverse here. I think maybe there's some resistance, Kate, to allowing yourself to channel for fear that it might be troublesome, or that maybe there's like a fear of letting your inner child really play in these realms. Almost like he doesn't know enough, or that he's resistant, but the truth is he does know, and like the intuitive strength is so good and strong. And I think as you honor this resistance with love and compassion, you're gonna like be able to really harness those forces and kind of channel whatever wants to come through in a beautiful way. But I would just pay attention to where you might be in resistance to some of these concepts that I was just talking about, like being in these other realities, or just be present with that. Wonder if that's resonating with you. So there's definitely a perspective shift. Yeah. It's making sense. Okay, good. Cool. Thanks for being here, Kate. Yeah, my pleasure. All right, Kiki. Thanks for being here, love. Pulling a card for Kiki for her highest good and the highest good of all. You got the 8 of Wands. I always feel like this is like the go for it card. It's kind of like swift action is going to be happening, and it's just like the path is already laid out for you, and you're just keep following it. It's kind of like a green light, and your destination is a good place. See all the happy like lights here the end of the tunnel there. So you'll probably know what this is already speaking to, but something like energetically is just like flowing through you that maybe is new or that you're interested in. and it's just like a go for it. Yeah. All right, so Michelle and then Maggie. Yeah. All right. Pulling a card from Michelle for her highest good and the highest good of all. Michelle, you got the Judgment card, which was our anchor card last week, and it's this sense of rebirthing and renewal, but it's see how there's still like veils over their faces? I think of it as also like a very fragile kind of awakening card. It's definitely like coming out the other side of the cocoon, stepping into a new reality, but still like there's still some veils and kind of being tender with it. Yeah. Sense of renewal and rebirth. I don't know if that's resonating for you, but it's a big card. It's hard to kind of put it into a quick message, but you could always do like a Google search on the Judgment card and see if anything else comes up that might resonate with you, or be able to love it. Okay, cool. Yeah. And then Maggie, absolutely. And then Kay, do you want a card too? So the one that I pulled earlier was for Kiki. Is it a new moon? I was wondering like what was going on astrologically. I haven't been paying attention, and I haven't really... There were a lot of stars out last night, so interesting. Yeah. Okay, cool. Alright, so I'll pull a card for Maggie and then one for Kay. Alright, so for Maggie, calling on a card for her highest good and the highest good of all. I got Temperance for you again, which was the card that I was talking about, like the alchemical energy and magic, but it was in reverse. So it seems like this could be some resistance to really allowing the surrender piece, maybe, of calling on spirit to support you. Like you don't have to do it all yourself. And kind of as you give that up, that's when like the real magic comes in, when you allow spirit to come in and support you in that way. So that, yeah, I would just sit with that, and maybe if I were in resistance to that, I would just like it's totally okay. I would just maybe take a moment to really sit with and ask myself, like, do I want support? Do I feel supported? Is there a way to maybe just say a prayer out loud, and just, even if you don't feel it or know it, just asking like the universe to come through to bring you the support you need to do that alchemical shifting. I hope that makes sense for you, love. Alright, so Kay, I will pull a card for you, my dear. And yeah, then we'll wrap up in just a minute. Hi, Savannah. If you want a card, let me know real quick, babe. Alright. So, Kay, you got the Three of Wands. And this is kind of similar to the Temperance card. This is really a harnessing of forces. And this again reminds me of working with community. It's like these three different wands. See how it's like ropes and levers kind of tethered together. It's like, don't do all the work yourself of what you can use ropes and pulleys to do, like to support the extra work. So again, calling on spirit, calling on earth, calling on others to work with you. Your own energy will be multiplied when you harness the energy in a way that allows it to work for you. Yeah, always overworking your body, never asking for help. Yeah, especially doing the kind of work you're doing, getting the support to maybe have like a side income thing that's not just the one-on-one sessions that are trade for money, or just getting trades with the people that you work with, to get some energy and get some love. Absolutely. It's one of the great benefits of having esthetician and massage friends, you know. I love doing trades with people. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Savannah and Kate, absolutely, and Caitlin, yeah, I will absolutely pull cards for you. Family, totally. Yeah. Alright, so pulling a card for Savannah, for her highest good and the highest good of all. Savannah, you got the Six of Swords, and this one is kind of like leaving a situation that might be sort of mentally draining you, or mentally toxic in a way, and being supported to leave that place. So this card, I would often think of like getting support through counseling or therapy, or talking to a friend, or allowing yourself to mentally go from one state of mind to like a healthier state of mind. And you see that there's two people in the boat. You could be the person rowing someone else to this place, or someone could be supporting you to row to this place. And it's often we both, we take turns being the person rowing and being the person who's rowed. And we had a big message come through for community in this reading today. So, and this goes for almost everyone here, reach out and ask for what you need, and allow yourself to receive the things that help you to feel better, and know that the messages and signs that your body is giving you, oh, amazing. Helping your friend through a big breakup, that would make sense, totally. Yeah. And so, thank you for doing that work. Giving me the perspective to review my relationships. Beautiful. Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right. And then I'm going to pull a card for Caitlin. I'm going to kind of wrap it up. Love spending time with you, ladies. Thank you, everyone, for dropping in tonight, and I hope you're all doing well. Sending you lots of love. All right, pulling a card for Caitlin for her highest good and the highest good of all. Caitlin, you got the Empress card. This is like total divine feminine energy. And often she comes up as a nurturing figure could be like for her own children, but it could just be like nurturing yourself, nurturing others, connecting with the land, like really softening into a receptive mode, and allowing, instead of like a masculine energy would be like going out and making stuff happen, the feminine is like allowing it to come to you, and you get to like receive. And so some visualization or meditation on what it is that you're desiring, and then just kind of putting it out into the universe and letting it letting it come to you, and basking in the receptive like sensuality, and tending to your garden of life in a way like that. Yeah. All right, y'all. This was lovely spending time with you as always. Thank you for being here, and just take care of yourselves this next week. We're in the deep winter, and sounds like we have a new moon coming up on Thursday, so a nice inward time of kind of releasing and beginning to plant some new things. And so we're kind of like winding down our energy here, and I'm feeling that this week. So just take care of yourselves. Lots of love. Thank you so much for being here. I will talk to you all soon.